Hey guys! So today I will be reviewing Season 2 of Knightfall. Knightfall is a History Channel drama that originally came out in 2017. It stars Tom Cullen as the main Knight Templar Landry, and now includes a very special name, the famous Mark Hamill, to play as Talus in Season 2 of Knightfall. Just to warn you guys, this review will have spoilers. So the biggest draw to Season 2, at least in comparison to Season 1, is the inclusion of Mark Hamill himself, Luke freaking Skywalker, as Talus in Season 2 of Knightfall. I myself am a huge Star Wars fan, and when I heard the news that Mark Hamill was going to be playing a role in a smaller History Channel show like Knightfall, to me that was the entertainment news of the year, easily. And I have to say, I was not disappointed at all with how things played out. Mark Hamill just truly carries every scene that he's in. I was constantly looking forward to seeing what Talus was going to do next, and it goes without saying, he just has a presence on the show that, quite honestly, none of the other actors can even come close to. I watched the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker last year, and like a lot of other Star Wars fans, I was not really that enthused with how Disney portrayed Luke Skywalker in this new Star Wars sequel trilogy. So I actually found myself enjoying Talus and Mark Hamill in Knightfall a lot more than I did actually watching him as Luke Skywalker in the new Star Wars sequel trilogy. Overall, I felt Season 2 of Knightfall was a significant improvement from Season 1. I thought the acting was better, and I thought the storytelling was just a lot more compelling in Season 2 compared to that of Season 1. For example, I really appreciated Dane Nogueira's backstory, and I thought the bit about how it was actually Boniface that brutally killed both of Dane Nogueira's parents, burning them at the stake. That was such a gruesome scene, by the way. Just really made both their characters, to me, a lot more interesting to follow. I also thought that the drama within the royal family was just a lot more sinister, it was a lot darker, and overall just a lot more interesting and exciting compared to the drama in Season 1. I also thought they were able to capture the medieval theme and the medieval setting pretty well. I personally really appreciated the inclusion of the Knight Templar Jacques de Molay. He was the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, and I thought his inclusion in the show was pretty cool. Season 2 of Knightfall was much darker than Season 1, and it was done in such a way that just made the show a lot more gripping. For example, the last 2 episodes of the show were just so hard to watch as the Knights Templar are being tortured and executed by King Philip. For example, in the second to last episode, it starts off with this group of Knights Templar, Landry included. They're chained to this wagon of cut firewood, which they're dragging to their own execution site, which they're going to be burnt to the stake at. And they're chained to the wagon, they're getting things thrown at them, one of them dies. It was just so hard to watch the protagonist of the show go through something like that, and it was definitely something I couldn't forget for quite a while. Still, the show was not perfect. There were a couple of moments throughout the season that I felt kind of stretched the limits of believability. One of them being Gawain's change of heart near the end of the show. I thought that given how brutal and heartless he was portrayed throughout the season, for him to all of a sudden have a change of heart and kind of be upset at King Philip for a lot of his misdeeds and fight against the king didn't really seem that believable to me. It didn't really sell. Also, at the end of the season, where they imply or they show Mark Hamill just taking out an entire wave, like 15 of the king's soldiers, with nothing more than his own sword on equal ground with them, didn't really seem that believable to me. I mean, he's kind of old, you know what I mean? I think they thought, oh, let's end the season with Mark Hamill doing something really badass. And he really is a badass actor, but I don't know, it just didn't really work to me. I think that you can make the argument that Episode 8 shouldn't even have existed in the first place. While it definitely would have been a lot more sad and somber to end the show with Episode 7, with the Knights Templar burning at the stake, given how things played out in real life, I think that would have been a bit more fitting. I think maybe they wanted to end the show with the way they did in Episode 8, to kind of give it a more cliche Hollywood-style feel-good ending, because there's a rescue and they escape and everybody's happy. But I don't know, it just didn't really feel as right as how it would have felt if they ended the show and the season with episode 7. Now I have to say that as a big Knightfall fan, I'm pretty disappointed that the show's ratings were really not that good for season 2. Despite being a significantly better season than season 1, season 2 only attracted about half as many viewers compared to season 1. It's pretty disappointing considering not only was the season a lot better, but Mark Hamill was on the show as well. And I thought that, okay, maybe that might attract some Star Wars fans, some Mark Hamill's fans, to season 2 of Knightfall. But that really wasn't the case, unfortunately. And because of that, this is probably, I'm thinking, the last season of Knightfall we're going to get. Overall, I really enjoyed season 2 of Knightfall. While it wasn't perfect, I felt it was a significant improvement from season 1, and I felt it was very similar in terms of both style and quality to that of History Channel's flagship TV show, Vikings. I think the inclusion of Mark Hamill, as well as the overall improved story, were two of the several factors which really helped take Knightfall to the next level in season 2. My final verdict on season 2 of Knightfall is a 4 stars out of 5.